Hello, Sim here. So recently and unsurprisingly, I've been getting quite a few comments on my channel going out, Sim, is the XR500 worth it? Is it better than the R1? We trust you, Sim. We respect your opinion because you've always been honest with us and you are our #1 NetDuma YouTuber, I guess. So why no review? So I've talked about this in various streams of mine, but obviously not everybody's going to be watching those from start to finish. So in this video I'm going to give you a few little tidbits of what I think is good about the router and why I can't do a complete review at this time. So before I get into that, for all things NetDuma, go and hit that subscribe button. So what do I think is good about the XR500? First of all, the quad-core network system-on-chip processor. It's seriously powerful. You've got the dual-core 800 MHz processors that are there down at the network level and you just don't see them on the dashboard. You just see the other two processors, the 1.7 GHz ones, hardly doing anything. What's that mean? Plenty of headroom for more goodies and newer functionality to arrive in the future. More R apps, more goodies. All things are great and sweet. Now the Wi-Fi, it's excellent. It really is good. I've got nothing bad to say about the Wi-Fi. It's fantastic. Both the 2.4 and the 5 GHz Wi-Fi, excellent. No stuttering, no problems whatsoever. Really pleased with it. The geofiltering, naturally this is the piece de resistance of a NetDuma piece of software and it does it well. It easily tells you whether you're on a dedicated server or on a peer-to-peer host. The thing is missing right now is ping assist, but don't worry, that is going to be arriving very shortly. We're talking in about a week or so from now. Buffer bloat for me though is a bit up in the air. So moving on into the up in the air section. Now I've named this section that rather than the bad or the poor simply because I've hit so many problems. More problems than any other beta tester. And for those of you who are new to my channel, I only recently became a beta tester. So because I've hit so many problems, it raised a legitimate question. Is Sim unlucky enough to have received a faulty XR500? In other words, is there a hardware fault causing or attributing to or inducing additional software errors that just wouldn't normally occur? The answer? Neither myself or NetDuma know, so hence my XR500 is back with them for some serious testing. So because of this, it would not be professional of me to say one way or another about recommending or not recommending an XR500. I've seen from Twitter, I've seen from forum posts and all of that good jazz, loads of other people are enjoying their XR500. So it could be a hardware problem that I've been experiencing. It could be purely software which just doesn't get along with Sim's network topology, all of his devices and kit and the way it's wired up, and or the PPPoE modem which I need because I'm BT Infinity. You guys trust me, I've always given you my honest opinion, and although I've been naturally frustrated with the issues I've hit, I mean seriously frustrated, I'm not going to go into depth about those issues in case it is due to faulty hardware, and for me I would consider it not being professional enough and respectful for either you guys or me or NetDuma. It's just not the right thing to do. So now I've set the scene. What did I mean about the buffer bloat? Well, for me, I've done a reasonable amount of buffer bloat testing using my standard methodology that I've covered in the NetDuma Ultimate Guide. And well, I just couldn't get an A+ buffer bloat rating at all. No A+, the best I could get was an A. And low pings with even bars in the graphs, you know, all of those 3 bars being even and, you know, level. I just couldn't do it. I could not get it at all. It was just a straight up ramp. The idle was great. The download was upload was not good at all. I can get really good buffer bloat on the NetDuma R1. I just couldn't get it on this XR500 that I happen to have and don't have right now. So I struggled to get my ping to be below 30 milliseconds. when the bandwidth is saturated. The idle was good. It's the standard 10 to 12 milliseconds or so. So the issues that I was experiencing in the buffer bloat department, I'll call it that, could be down to a couple of issues. One, PPPoE. So if you have a PPPoE modem and are experiencing issues, please feed this back to Netgear and NetDuma. Please, please, please post it in the forums and give them that feedback. Then if that is the root cause, great, we can identify it and they can go work it and fix it. Or it could be, or I guess, the automatic deep packet inspection, commonly referred to as DPI, which because of its processing is skewing the results. So I've asked for an off switch for like the deep packet inspection so that when I'm gaming I can just click on the full go for it buffer bloat control on please. I've manually switched it on, but I want the lowest latency possible. Now if you happen to be lucky owners of an XR500 and you're having bad buffer bloat experience on the DumaOS for the XR500, especially if you're a R1 owner, then please do feed it back on the forums, please do. For the benefit of the community. This is why I run my YouTube channel, to help all gamers out. So having said all of that, like, the buffer bloat's just not as good as the R1, you would have seen from my live streams where I've been using the XR500, the games are still pretty playable, and we are talking about Call of Duty World War II and the like, right? And I'm a techie, I'm a power user, I'm a serious gamer, I want the best. But the buffer bloat control offered by the XR500 is still far more superior compared to say the Netgear R7800 stock firmware. Trust me on that one because I've got an R7800. So it's just not as good as the R1 at this point in time. But is that attributed to hardware issues, PPPoE issues, how many P's can you say? Or is it some other software issue to do with the deep packet inspection? We don't know, but hopefully it will be resolved in future, whatever it is the cause. Okay, so on to other issues, and I'm unfortunately not going to go into detail about these. All I will say is that some of the standard functionality just doesn't work for me. Again, it does work on the R1, it does work on other routers, so it's not my hardware in the house, so to speak. It's faulty hardware, something not quite right with software, etc. But the more frustrating thing for me was what I will call as stability issues. I'm deliberately being vague here. Remember, I don't know whether I had a faulty hardware unit or not. All I can say is that I had two reoccurring issues and themes, and the only way I could fix it was by doing a factory reset. It was unusable. So that pretty much sums up why I've not done a review. So all I do know is that other gamers out there who own an XR500 are thoroughly enjoying their router and DumaOS and having the best gaming experience they've ever had, even former R1 owners. So now you know why I haven't done a review, and I can't recommend it one way or another at this point in time, because until I know I've got a squeaky clean working XR500, I can't tell you guys, because I don't know either. And that's my honest opinion. Now, trying to be respectful to both you guys and NetDuma, and I guess Netgear too. So thumbs up if you found that at least informative or useful. You know, it always helps supporting my channel. So there we go. I've told you as much as I can tell you, and until next time, this has been Sim.